All right, you guys. So you're probably wondering, what are you supposed to give away for free, right? Probably asking yourself that right now. And I want to break it down for you so that you do this the best way possible. Now, just understand that this comes from years of me giving away free stuff, basically, right? Freebies, free lead magnets on my website, Wanderlust Worker, and a bunch of other funnels that I've been running. I'm gonna break down for you what are the most popular things that you can give away. I'm also gonna teach you how you can do this without a lot of work. Because you're probably wondering right now, you're probably asking yourself, like, oh man, I gotta do a lot of work to do this. I gotta create these, like, freebies. And man, that's going to be a lot of work. I remember the first time that I ever did this, I was actually sitting in my grandma's house in Los Angeles, and I was obsessing over trying to build my first freebie for my website, for my blog. And it took me so long. I sat down, I wrote this really, really long ebook without like trying to understand what my target market wants or anything, like trying to solve their problems or anything like that. I just sat down and because I was like, I gotta write an ebook. I gotta write this really, really long ebook. And I sat down and it took me like well over a month of like a lot of effort of doing it. They kind of think of this guy like almost like me, like sitting there doing this. And I felt like it was so stressful. I just sat down and I just was like writing and writing. And I was like, oh no, it's gotta be longer. It's gotta be longer. People won't request it. And what I came to realize was like I'm doing this totally wrong, because when I launched it, it fizzled, right? I barely got any signups. And so I was like, how do I build my email list? Like nobody's signing up. They don't want this ebook, right? And part of building your opt-in list and stuff is, number one, of course, the lead magnet itself. Number two is the copy, right? You got to have good copy. You got to have good copy that entices people to get whatever it is that you have. But the lead magnet, first and foremost, it's got to be really good, right? And so I want to kind of break down what you need to do, and I want to explain it to you, right? What this lead magnet needs to be, it needs to be actionable. All right. So many people go out there and they're like, oh, I'm going to write an ebook like I did, right? And, they write this really, really long, boring ebook. Nobody cares, right? The thing about an ebook is it's a digital item, right? So few people care about the digital item right now because it's super simple to get, right? How many of us have, hundreds of ebooks on our like hard drives and computers or whatever that we've never even barely looked at, right? We might open it up and glance at it for a moment, but we barely ever look at it. That's a problem. So rather than creating an ebook, figure out something that's actionable, right? Your prospects want to take action on solving a problem. Number one, you need to know the problem, right? If you don't know the problem, like that's a problem, right? Figure out the problem that your prospect is facing. You have to know the problem that they're facing. And then when you know the problem, you need to create an actionable piece of content. Not an ebook, right? Don't bother with an ebook. Totally a waste of your time. People want to discover content. They don't want to go and read a long, boring, drooling ebook, right? Like I had written that totally fizzled. It wasn't until I started doing things like checklists and cheat sheets that I started to get a lot of people joining my email list. Okay. Think about it this way. When people opt in, you want to give them something they could consume in 10 or 15 minutes. Now you might say like, that's crazy. Like, why would somebody opt in for something they could consume in 10 or 15 minutes? Like, that is what people want. They want something simple, easy, recipes, cheat sheets, simple how-to videos, whatever it is, right? There are a lot of different things you could offer. Of course, swipe files are like, files with examples of things, right? Like headlines, copy, like images, recipes, any of those types of things. Recipes also a separate category, but like software trials, that's a great one. Obviously, if you don't have software, this won't work for you. Video training series are very, very powerful. I do this all the time. A 4-part video series that comes to them in email every single day is very, very powerful, right? It allows you to build a bond with the prospect. And checklists, of course, these are huge, right? Checklists of everything you need to do to, effectively manage your time or like whatever it is, right? People want things that are simple and easy to consume. Cheat sheets, another really big one. Recipes, as I said before. Quizzes plus results. People love taking quizzes. You've probably seen them all over social media. These like, take the quiz and find out your personality or all these other things, right? So that's another one, of course. Free consultations, that's a big one too. Free consultation is a great lead magnet. How-to guides, absolutely great lead magnets, but try to stay away from the ebooks. Like I'm telling you right now, they're not very popular. So you're probably asking yourself, like, what do I do? Like, how do I create this thing? What's the process? How do I go about doing it? I want to introduce something to you called private label rights. Okay, private label rights in the whole internet marketing sphere, right? It's basically a license to sell something else. Somebody who's already gone out there, who's spent all the time creating these, amazing checklists, cheat sheets, video series, software trials, whatever it is, they offer it to you to private label, right? What does private label mean? It basically means you're slapping your logo and your name on it. That's it. You're kind of selling it as your own, but you have to understand that many other people are doing it as well. But it is a very, very low friction way to get something in front of a prospect, to give them something free, to get them onto your list. Now, private label rights, obviously, if you can create the thing, right, that you want to give away for free, if you can create the thing yourself, it is much better, right? But you just basically got to create the content, go get somebody on Fiverr, go hire somebody to do like a snazzy little cover type of thing. And you wanted to make it look pretty. But if you don't want to do all that, go buy it, right? Go buy the private label rights for it. There are plenty of websites. If you go search for PLR, right? Private label rights, PLR products, you can find a ton of websites that are offering PLR products. All you got to do is go and license it. You're going to pay a few dollars to license it. It all depends on the quality of the thing that you're licensing. But the point is, get the thing, right? You want to get a thing that solves a problem. It's actionable, right? It could be easily consumed and digested in 10 or 15 minutes. Stay away from the ebooks, but if you could create a 4-part video series on your own, go do that instead. All right. So in the next video, we're going to get into actually building out our simple opt-in funnel.